Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm Daryl Titt. In the headlines, 50 farmers to benefit from Penville Irrigation Project. The Ministry of Agriculture looking at the development of smart greenhouses, and Georgetown to benefit from newly constructed polyclinic. Details of these headline stories and more when we return. Welcome back. In its bid to develop the agriculture sector, the government of Dominica is constructing an irrigation system in the village of Penville, which will benefit approximately 50 farmers when complete. Kavya John reports.
In its bid to develop the agriculture sector, the government of Dominica has constructed an irrigation system in the village of Penville, which will benefit approximately 50 farmers when complete. Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, Honorable Oscar George, says government has spent over $120,000 on the project thus far.
We as a government believe that agriculture plays a very important role in growth and development of Dominica. And this commitment is shown here today. Penville is a place that is known for its high level of production, very fertile soil, and a lot of farmers in Penville depend on agriculture to earn a livelihood. And this government, what we did is we came there and to support the farmers, and we developed this Savannah Farmers Irrigation Project. To date, we have spent in the region of above $120,000 on this project, and we will see about close to 50 farmers benefit from this project. Farming, is very important in this part of the village, and not only will it encourage farmers to get back to the soil, it will also boost the willingness of our young farmers to get back into the soil. And that is something that we take very, very serious as a government. We're exploring all options available to boost agriculture output and to ensure that the youth come back to agriculture.
Minister George says he hopes to see an increase in production of goods from all the farmers benefiting from the irrigation project.
I'm really, really happy for the farmers of the Savannah area. As I said, Savannah is a very productive area when it comes to agriculture, and the whole intention is to boost production and output, and so that we could export to our neighboring countries. In terms of access to the area, we also considering access to the area. We need to have some discussions and consultations with the farmers themselves, so we can identify suitable areas and avenues to grant access to the area in terms of road. But that is it's an ongoing process. The process has just begun. We will seek to ensure that not only that we grant access, but also we encourage farmers to get into marketing strategies, and I think that's very important. We will seek to, through extension, assist farmers in identifying markets and ensure that their produce is consistent so that we can produce produce that will be able to succeed in regional markets.
Minister George says the ongoing project has already impacted the economy of the village of Penville, as many residents are employed on the project.
I'm happy to be here today. As you can see from my back, work is ongoing on this project. We have spent a lot of resources to be where we are today. The commitment shown by our PAREP, the Honorable Prime Minister, is very commendable. He has been the whole driving force behind this effort, and also the workers of Penville has played the part. To date, upwards of 12 persons from the village of Penville have been engaged in this project, and so not only are we assisting the farmers, but we are also assisting employment in the area. So that in itself is very commendable, and it's just a start of things to come.
General Manager of DOWASCO, Mr. Bernard Etinoff, gave a detailed breakdown of what this important project entails.
This is the Penville Farmers Irrigation Project. It was something, as you heard, had started quite some time ago. Got damaged during Erica, then Hurricane Maria, and so the Honorable Prime Minister and the parliamentary representative for this area asked DOWASCO to assist in rehabilitating this project, and so to bring water to the hard-working farmers of this area. I mean, as you can see, it's a wide expanse of arable lands that are here, but can do well with some irrigation to boost production, boost the farmers' confidence, in their production, and earn a decent living for farmers in the area. Quite a few farmers, quite a few farms, and so DOWASCO got involved sometime after Hurricane Maria, looked at what needed to be done, communicated with the Honorable Prime Minister, the parliamentary representative for the area. And so it involved cleaning of the intake that was constructed some years ago, running new pipelines, in some instances repairing the old ones from the intake to the 2 storage tanks that we visited earlier on. Repairs to those storage tanks. What is left to be done now is to cover one of the storage tanks, and of course the distribution lines from the storage tanks all the way down to where we are now. Started with 2-inch lines, continued with 1-inch, and of course half-inch lines distributed to each of the farms, and a water connection to each of the farms so that they can run their irrigation systems on their farms. And so it's a very important project, I believe, for the farmers here, and from what I can see, they're very appreciative of it, and I'm sure it's going to boost their production.
Special Projects Coordinator in the Ministry of Blue and Green Economy, Agriculture and National Food Security, Honorable Nichols Esfrey, noted that the farmers will greatly benefit from the new irrigation project when completed.
It is natural that water goes hand in hand with farming agriculture. And what is happening here is that we're constructing an irrigation system to bring water to the farmer's farm. We call that farm gate. So each farmer will receive a connection in the entrance of the farm, which they will use for irrigation, whether sprinkler type or drip line type. What that would do is that it would help to boost the production of the farmer's crops and so on. And naturally, if you boost your production, you increase and boost your income as a farmer, which is what every single farmer is looking for. So when you have irrigation, you can control the crops you plant, the time you plant, how much you plant, as opposed to waiting on rainy season, because without water, a lot of farmers actually wait for what we call the rainy season in Dominica to plant. But with water on your farm, you can plant year-round because you will be able to irrigate your plants, which the plants would need the water to grow and to produce for you. So all in all, irrigation is always, to any farmer, a godsend. And when you have a godsend, the most you can do out of it is produce.
Community Liaison Officer Mr. Mikhail Masikot thanked the Prime Minister and Parliamentary Representative for the Penville area, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, for implementing this project and for his dedication to seeing its completion.
I'd like to commend the Parrep, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, because he has been the engine behind this project. Even in his very busy schedule, he has made time to visit, to come, he spoke with the farmers, find out what are their concerns, and now he's reaching out to them. So I'd like to say hats off to our Parrep, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit. They have waited a long time, and now is the time to prove themselves. And I think with the produce, they should look at, okay, where is the market, what is the best crop to grow, and they should go hard at it, because really and truly, farming is the backbone of Dominica. And a lot of farmers in Penville have made their livelihood, have built their houses, feed their families before with agriculture. And now if there is water, I mean, they can do much, much more. So I'd like to tell them, take it serious and do it like a business. Take their records. Though, let's not come and just farm and say we grow. You have to have things aside. I'd like to tell the farmers, take a record of all what you grow. You know you have to buy your fertilizer after, put some money aside and run that like a business, and then they will see their way forward.
Curvia John for the Government Information Service.
In more news, smart greenhouses could be the way forward for agriculture and food production in Dominica. That is according to Minister for Blue and Green Economy, Agriculture and National Food Security, Honorable Fidel Grant. While a guest on the Prime Minister's weekly talk show, Anu Pale, Minister Grant explained that these smart greenhouses can produce over 200,000 seedlings per month.
As it is now, we are looking to have a few demonstrations in terms of smart greenhouse so that the young persons can come and see how you basically control the greenhouse from your phone using an app. So we're hoping that before the end of the year that we can have a few of these greenhouse imported. They're quite efficient.
And so this is, so those of us who are viewing can see this.
Right. This is
that's in Portsmouth.
That's in
the
Portsmouth.
Chinese Agriculture Technical Mission.
Right. That's correct. It's a 525 square meters smart greenhouse. It can produce up to 240,000 seedlings per month, and we are looking to see if we can get a smaller scale for demonstration in terms of for our young people.
Another new initiative being developed by the ministry is hydroponics. Hydroponics is the method of growing plants without soils. Tomatoes, lettuce, cucumbers, peppers, and spinach are common crops grown using hydroponics. Minister Grant says a specialist is currently on island to teach staff proper use of the technology.
In terms of the hydroponics, we have been in discussion. As it is now, we have an FAO technical specialist on island who is working with us to develop and teach the technology. What we are looking to do again is the demonstration, because we need to be able to show the young people how to do it and the training.
Healthcare has always been a priority for the Dominica Labour Party administration, and to ensure that all Dominicans receive proper health care, health centers are currently being constructed across Dominica. The newly enhanced community of Georgetown will benefit greatly from one of these newly built polyclinics. Aliyah Martin has more in this report.
Health has always been a priority for the Dominica Labour Party administration, and to ensure that all Dominicans receive proper health care, health centers are currently being constructed across Dominica. The newly enhanced community of Georgetown will benefit greatly from the newly built polyclinics. The government of Dominica continues to work diligently towards the goal of improving the healthcare system island-wide. The clinics will have access to ambulances for urgent transfers to the main hospital and well-stocked pharmacies. Similar to the additional 11 new polyclinics that are being constructed around Dominica, Georgetown will utilize integrated technologies that deliver quality care and manage information. The new health center will consist of 2 clinics, rest areas, emergency rooms, treatment rooms, 2 doctor rooms, and residential quarters for medical staff. The total area for the polyclinic is 3,693 square feet. The ground floor plan is 2,670 square feet, and the first floor 1,023 square feet. Prime Minister of Dominica, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, is grateful and satisfied with the works of the new facility.
I want to thank the developers, MC, and the contractors for their steadfastness and for the diligence and for their professionalism in the delivery of that facility. This health center will be hurricane-proof, and all part of the resilient building efforts in our country. That whatever structures we put in, we are mindful of our exposure to the natural disasters. Not only hurricanes, but also seismic activity. So the designs and the engineering took into consideration the seismic activities in Dominica.
Minister for Health, Wellness and New Health Investments, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, says the new structure is compatible with the mission of the building a resilient country. Minister McIntyre talks about the prominence of primary health care and an empowered human resource team.
This structure here, it's just part of the whole program as regards to having an efficient primary health care system. We're going to progress on education, on health promotion, and granted it's a structure, but obviously the human resource and the responsibility of the people that are going to use the facility put together, we can have a very efficient healthcare system running in this northern part of the country, where the people should appreciate what the government is doing and how we bring in healthcare right to the doorsteps, practically to the doorsteps, because we're just opposite our Georgetown settlement on the opposite side. So it is really a comprehensive approach to health we're having here in terms of the primary healthcare aspect of it, the resilient part of it. So it's just the people to play their part in taking health into their own hands. The government can only do so much, but it takes the people to actually make use of it, follow the guidelines of the health professionals, and that way we can have a very productive northern district like all the other areas in the country.
Meantime, Parliamentary Representative for the Portsmouth Constituency, Honorable Ian Douglas, is excited about the ongoing developments in his constituency. Minister Douglas says the new health center forms a part of the government's plan to improve the lives of the people in the Portsmouth constituency and beyond.
The health center is part of a broader plan to bring in more offices, to move some of the essential services that are now available in the capital, in Roseau, bring them down to Portsmouth, not only to serve Portsmouth, but to serve the entire North. So things like the Immigration Department for passports, licensing, issuing of licenses, a new office for the Portsmouth Town Council and the mayor, a theatre for the performing arts, these sorts of things. Maybe a small commercial centre where we could probably fit a few shops and a few barber shops, hairdressing and that sort of thing to serve the community, not just the community of Georgetown, which is here, which is what we call the Rosie Douglas development, but the greater Georgetown, Glanville, and ultimately the entire Portsmouth area as far as Lago is concerned.
The facility was constructed by the Montreal Management Consultants Establishment and is funded through the Citizenship by Investment program. Dominica is committed to providing a complete overhaul of its healthcare facilities as the Dominica Labour Party administration continues to promote the national healthcare system to stand amongst the best in the region. This vision is slowly unveiling despite the government's continued efforts to safeguard citizens from this pandemic. Aliyah Martin for the Government Information Service.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
Scary! Everything just shaking and making big creaky noises.
Earthquakes, big and small, take place in the Caribbean at least 10 times a year.
The dishes rattling and falling and breaking, then Vonnie started to scream.
All I could think to do was shout, "Get outside, get out!"
Earthquakes, hazards, take control, reduce your loss. If an earthquake hits, what can you do? Get down, get under an item of furniture like a table. Hold on and stay there until the quake passes. Find out lots more about earthquakes and other hazards at your local disaster office. A message from your National Disaster Office and SIDERA.
Welcome back. The process of reclassification of the public service is underway in Dominica. Cabinet Secretary, His Excellency Ambassador C. Farrell, says the reclassification exercise will change the landscape of the public service, not just the classes of jobs, but the operating procedures and all the processes that goes with the system.
The modernization of the systems will automatically change the level and quality of services that they offer. So the process will change not just the officers in agriculture, for example. It will change the way we do agriculture. The digital economy would not just help us restructure. They will improve on the services that we offer to the consumers. As CPO said, most things online and all of that. And I think the public service itself will be more targeted and aligned at productivity. We will reduce wastage. We'll have a better structure to deliver on government's policy for the next maybe 20 years, I hope.
The Chief Personnel Officer, Ms. Karen Prevost, says the process had begun some years ago, but was prolonged due to natural disasters.
There were some recommendations made from that study, that exercise. However, you know, we've had some setbacks with Tropical Storm Erica and Hurricane Maria, but it has given us an opportunity to reevaluate our priorities, because now we have the Climate Resilience Recovery Plan, we have the National Resilience Development Strategy. So we are working with CARICAD, and we've put together a scope of works which has been approved by Cabinet for an RFP to be sent out to look at what the focus should be for reclassification. I want to thank the staff of the Reform Management Unit, which has been working on the scope of work and the RFP for CARICAD. We've already requested from CARICAD training in advance of the process beginning in job description review and evaluation. So we will train a cadre of public officers who will be able to assist with reviewing our existing job descriptions, looking at our existing systems, and working with CARICAD to make recommendations.
In more news, the World Bank Emergency Agricultural Livelihoods and Climate Resilience Project continues to meet its mandate of assisting farmers around Dominica with the continued distribution of small tools and equipment. On Monday, June 29, 2020, local farmers received tools ranging from shovels and cutlasses to motorized tools such as chainsaws. Warehouse supervisor for the project, Ms. Nisa Francis, says an appointment system was created to facilitate distribution.
Like everything else, we have our challenges in terms of, like, farmers not wanting to be patient and so on. Because unlike other times where we just put out an announcement on the radio and have farmers just come, this time around we did not do it that way. We created an appointment system where farmers that was signed very early in the project, like farmers who were signed in January, February, and have been waiting for the longest while, they were the ones that we called first. And then as they started coming in, other people started hearing about it. So we had that appointment system where we'd fit them in and so on. But it's all based on when you first signed your agreements and when you first started collecting.
Ms. Francis explained that new software was designed to help her and her staff to keep track of the equipment.
We started distributing tools from last week because this time around too, we also have a new software system in place. So that in itself caused some delay in us delivering tools and equipment to farmers. So we started that last week and we do it 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesdays and Wednesdays by appointments only. The new software we have in place is one where every motorized equipment that we've had is now in the system. So other than just riveting these items and giving it to the farmers, we now scan these items into our system so we know exactly where they're going and to who they're going. Before the system we had in place, we'd know basically what region these motorized tools would be in. But now the system we have in place now, we can actually pinpoint that very farmer and exactly where they're going with that piece of motorized equipment.
Distribution of stock is currently being undertaken at 5 main distribution sites, namely Castlebruce, Lap Lane, Londonderry, Portsmouth, and at the DAPEX building in Foncolay. Tools and equipment are being issued only from Foncolay.
So far, I can say we've distributed to roughly about 200 farmers so far. Because every day we see about 20 farmers on average, sometimes more because you have people just walking and trickling and so on. But on average, we do about 20 farmers a day. So far, we've distributed mist blowers, a few mist blowers that we got, chainsaws, pruning saws. We've also had a number of knapsacks, a lot of small tools like forks, hoes, shovels, drain spades, files, cutlasses. We also got the rotavator tillers. We've distributed a number of those also.
Ms. Francis added that the balance of the tools should be on island and ready for distribution by September 2020.
We should have the balance of everything by September, because what happened is that these things were done in 2 phases. We had the initial stage where when we called for farmers to sign up for the projects and so on, we weren't sure what it is that farmers really needed. So we got an estimate based on the Ministry of Agriculture and so on and the statistics that they had. We had an estimate from them. So we did a first order based on those estimates. But as farmers started coming in and signing in for the project, we got a better idea as to what it is that farmers really wanted. So now what we did then is put out contracts or bids in terms of these equipment. So now that we've gotten the first batch of equipment, which was based on these estimates, we sent out the bills, and now that these bids have been confirmed, we're hoping to expect from these suppliers by September.
One of the beneficiaries of the project, Mr. James Julian of Monrachet, owns 4 acres of land where he produces yams, ginger, and pumpkins. He thanked the government of Dominica and the World Bank for initiating the project.
These tools, I mean, they're very handy, and they're going to be very, very beneficial to me in working the land. That was a good initiative, to talk on the behalf of the farmers of this country. And we really want to thank the World Bank, for responding, in a tangible way. I've started to use my fertilizer, and I can see the difference, in the dashi, in my citrus and the yam.
The government of Dominica and Venezuela celebrated 15 years of the signing of the Petrocaribe Agreement on Monday, June 29, 2020. Petrocaribe continues to assist Caribbean nations in socio-economic development, and it is through this vision that the Prime Minister of Dominica, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, and late President of Venezuela, His Excellency Hugo Chavez, signed the agreement on June 29, 2005. This agreement aims to provide petroleum products and top-quality energy alternatives guided by the highest standards of safety and business ethics for the social benefit of Dominica and the integration of its people. Senior Minister Honorable Reginald Ostry is grateful to the Prime Minister of Dominica, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, and late President Chavez for their exemplary vision.
I want to really thank the vision and the foresight of Honorable Prime Minister and those great leaders for establishing this movement, which, as you would have heard, has made tremendous impact on both the social and economic landscape of Dominica. And many of these were enunciated by the speakers before me.
Venezuelan Ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Jose Savali, highlights the principles under which Petrocaribe Dominica was born.
Petrocaribe is so important. It's so important that it could be said it contains within itself the legacy and the mission. Its legacy stems from the reasons why it was created and why its implementation challenged all the control mechanisms of large corporations of energy and oil companies. Petrocaribe was born under principles that revolutionized the energy market in the Latin American and Caribbean region and was forged under the three fundamental concepts of the Bolivarian doctrine. That Bolivarian doctrine that Commander Hugo Chavez, rest in peace, gave himself to the task of resurrecting concepts such as independence, sovereignty, and free will.
Acting General Manager of Petrocaribe Dominica Limited, Gibbs Stevenson, believes that this agreement between Dominica and Venezuela has a positive impact on the lives of Dominicans. Mr. Stevenson expressed his gratitude to Prime Minister Skerrit and late President Chavez for their leadership.
Overall, the Petrocaribe initiative has yielded tremendous benefits for all Dominicans. Finally, we show gratitude to our two exceptional leaders, the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, and the late President of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, for taking us through such a mutually beneficial initiative.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow us on GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and as well as on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I'm Daryl Titt. Thank you for watching.